Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Bustos and I am the owner and founder of Bustos Family Law. Here at Bustos Family Law, me and my attorneys and paralegals are passionate about guiding our clients to their brighter future. Again, I want to thank you all for joining me today. Today I want to talk a little bit about snooping during your divorce. A lot of times when people file for divorce, they start to feel a little bit suspicious about their former spouse or soon-to-be former spouse, and they want to know, was my spouse cheating on me? They were very distant during the last few months of our marriage. Were they perhaps having communications with a coworker that were turning sexy? And there is a natural instinct to want to know this information, but you need to do it in the right way. Going behind your spouse's back and snooping, throughout your divorce or at any point really, can be something that can have some very serious consequences. So today, we're going to talk about data interception and wiretapping during a family law case. There are laws here that are actually quite confusing, and judges and attorneys have referred to it as a confusing web of laws. They intersect. There are laws that cover one part, but not another. So it can be very, very confusing. This is going to be a high-level overview about what these laws are. So if you want something a little bit more detailed, you're going to need to consult with an attorney. Data interception and wiretapping, it's information that's been improperly accessed or obtained. It could be a violation of both federal and state law, and there are both civil and criminal penalties in both arenas. So not only could you be criminal penalties in Texas court, you could also have it in federal court. The penalties are really, really harsh. So again, these are things you need to know if you want to know about accessing information from another person. On a federal level, there are three general categories of communication. One is the Wiretap Act, two is the Stored Communications Act, and three is the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. There are corresponding state laws, and they are found in the Texas Penal Code as well as the Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code. Starting with the Wiretap Act, this applies to communications that are intercepted contemporaneously with transmission. For example, it's an in-person conversation. It is a recorded phone conversation. It is electronic communication. It is a communication that needs to happen as long as communication is intercepted at the time it is being transmitted. So if you're in the middle of a conversation, or if someone's in the middle of a conversation and there's a recording, that falls under this act. Additionally, it's a violation of the law to use or disclose communications knowingly obtained through interception. So if you recorded a conversation that you're not a part of and nobody knew about it or consented to it, you can't use that later in court. It's not allowed to be used. In addition to that, the wiretap laws have the most severe penalties, and it can be the basis for a civil or criminal suit. There are, however, exceptions to the wiretap law. Texas is a one-party consent state, so only one party needs to consent to making a recording. Sometimes when you call someone, you say, I'm going to record this conversation, they can say, I don't consent to that. If they're in Texas, it doesn't matter. So you can record your own communications. However, this rule is a state-specific rule, and it does not apply to every state. So if your party or the person you're talking to is outside of Texas, please reconsider recording. California law differs from Texas law, differs from Tennessee law. There was a Kanye West and Taylor Swift lawsuit where Kanye West recorded the communication and Taylor Swift did not consent to it. Where Kanye West was, it was allegedly okay. Where Taylor Swift was in another state, it wasn't. And that was a basis of a lawsuit. So you need to be aware of that when you're making a recording. Also, if you have children's conversations, if you have a child, as a parent, you can give vicarious consent to record a child's conversation if the parent has a good faith, objectively reasonable belief that the recording is necessary for the welfare of the child. You need to meet that standard, not to violate this law. Next, the Stored Communications Act. This applies to communications that are intercepted while in electronic storage. So for example, if someone is intercepting emails through Gmail or they're stored on the cloud somewhere, or communication saved to iCloud, that is a violation of this law. There is a lot of case law about intercepting text messages through iMessage because it was stored on the family cloud. It's really, really important that you know how things are stored and how things are accessed if you are going to seek out this information. You want to make sure that you're not violating any laws. A third, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. This applies to communications that are saved on the recipient's device. So this is communication that's obtained locally on a person's computer or phone, and you cannot access a computer, a network, or a system without effective consent of the owner. So if you have someone's laptop password and you are allowed and authorized to access those communications, that is one thing. If you do not have those laptops, or you don't have the password, or you're trying to get someone's Face ID and they don't know about it on their cell phone, that is a violation of this law. And you need to be aware of that. If you try to break into your partner's cell phone or their email or their laptop, if they have a reasonable expectation of privacy, that could be a violation of the law. So if you have some authorization, but you decided to exceed it, that's also a violation of the law. Now, lastly, this is not under federal law. This is under Texas state law. There are civil and criminal penalties for online impersonation in Texas. It's a criminal felony to impersonate someone by creating a web page, a social media account, sending messages through a website or social networking site, and it's a criminal misdemeanor to impersonate someone by sending an email, instant message, or text message. That could lead to some very, very serious consequences. I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you learned something today. If you want to learn more about divorce or family law in Texas, please like and subscribe to our channel. And you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media, including TikTok. Check out our TikTok channel, and we look forward to seeing you next time.